What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back with more content for you. This time it is the player ratings of our victory. Let me repeat that again because it sounds so refreshing. Our victory over Atletico Madrid in the tie, but not in the overall. Obviously, Spurs now out of the Champions League. Once again, you can see it's myself and Amir, as Ben and Simeon are still away due to a family emergency. Please do spam the chat with all well wishes to Ben, Simeon and the Daniel family at this time. Amir, brother, always good to be with you. The boys, they're loving seeing the comments, aren't they, of coming out for them. They're overwhelmed by it, and it's needed at this time, isn't it?
100%. It definitely is, guys. Yeah, our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone, to Ben Sim and all the Daniels. And yeah, hopefully they'll be back with you guys shortly. But in the meantime, you've got Daigle, myself, and I know a few others have been coming in as well. You've got Stel as well. So yeah, get your messages in. They go a long way and they're truly appreciated. So do get
Yeah,
them.
you mentioned Stella. Let's just say since they've been away, it's been Brains, it's been Sarah,
Yep.
it's been Ashmatic, it's
Nick,
been Nick and Barry and Iggy for
Iggy.
the watch along,
Yeah.
and you and me as well. So the We Are Tottenham TV army and community is more than just people being YouTubers or whatever. There is a real tight knit family, and big up to everyone that has helped during their time off. But like we said,
100%.
player ratings, and it's going to be a nice player ratings today. There's a lot of good to talk about, and we're going to start with goalkeeper Big Vic. As you can see on the screen, Amir and I both gave a 7. Yeah, listen, for me, was his most solid game in a long, long time. His distribution for me was better, and when I say was better, it's just because he didn't give balls away needlessly. I don't care if he hoofs it up to the other end of the pitch and it goes to no one, rather than dillying and dallying and knocking it out or putting a player under pressure. And obviously there was that one vital save at the end of the first half from the deflection off Romero. So 7 for me, Amir.
Yeah, 7 for me as well. I think that save really saved the tie for us. It was an unbelievable reaction save to the deflection off Romero. And I just want to caveat all my scores here because I have given everyone almost an extra point for the level of grit, determination, pride that all our players showed. Because I really think that it was a team performance yesterday, and everyone deserves a little extra point. So that's just a little thing. But yeah, 7 for Vic. Did really well. Again, the distribution, like you said, was a lot more positive. And look, with the hoofing it up the pitch, our goal against Liverpool came from him hoofing it up the pitch. Sometimes, guess what? A hoof up the pitch can be exactly what you need. So got no problem with him doing that if a pass isn't on.
Exactly. Moving on to the next player, and what we are going to be talking about, Radu Dragusin. So Radu Dragusin, we both gave a 6. Playing in an uncomfortable right back position for a majority of the game.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, listen, it was a solid performance from him. I was shocked originally to see him in instead of Danso, but I'm
yeah,
hoping Danso was done to rest him for Forest. I think he's vital, and we saw that at Anfield. Um, but did some nice things, but nothing that really stood out for me. So 6 for me.
yeah. I think it was a little bit out of position for Radu. He did make a few nice challenges and win the ball, but for me, he needs to be a bit better on the ball himself with passing as well and doing a little bit more in terms of progressing the ball. But again, it's hard to do that from a position that he's not too familiar in. So a solid 6 for Radu.
There we go. You and me are 100% combined together on this so far. So the next player we are bringing up will be Cuti Romero. And again, Amir and I have gone 8 all round. Listen, he's been out of the squad recently for obvious reasons. Came back, then got a concussion and missed the Liverpool game. This was more like the Cuti Romero that we know he can do. For me, the most solid of the back line by
Yeah.
far yesterday. Still picked up a booking, still had a couple of rash moments, but this is the Romero we need to see for the rest of the season, isn't it, Amir?
100%. Look, level of professionalism, he didn't get himself sent off, and made some really, really important challenges. And yeah, he looks like he's back to his best. We just need him to keep his head for the last 8 games. That's all I'm asking for you, Cootie. Do what you know how to do, which is defend, make challenges, be aggressive, not overly aggressive, but aggressive enough to win the ball. Okay, and just don't make any rash decisions. Don't give any refs a decision to make because we already know where that's going to go. So. Yeah, great performance from Cootie. Hopefully, we'll see plenty more to the end of the season. We need him at his best. Um, and also, we didn't see it last night, but we know how good he is from set pieces. We could do with a few of his goals from set pieces as well if he can muster some of those up for the end of the season.
There we go. So 8 all round. Moving on to Mickey van der Ven, I believe, will be the next one. And it's our first split. It's our first split. I've gone for a 6, Amir a 7. Mickey at the moment, obviously, has been his performances have been questioned. A lot of rumours on the training ground, which I don't listen to a single word of that nonsense.
Good, good.
To me, he had a okay performance, like a better performance than he has done recently. The only reason I haven't given him the 7 is there are a couple of instances where players got past him so easily,
Mm.
so easily. There was one in the second half where I can't remember who it was that got round him, but took him on like he weren't even there, and
Probably
then could have.
Alvarez.
It may have been so. There are a couple of things where he was a little bit slow off the mark, or where you think Mickey would have been sorted, but didn't do anything wrong, but didn't do massive and massive things right. So still a good performance, but a 6 for me.
Yeah, so I gave him a 7. I thought it was a pretty solid performance for Mickey. He came out in the media the other day saying about how a lot of the rumors and the things that he hears are all a load of nonsense. And that's what I want to hear from Mickey. I want to hear that all these rumors and these things about him leaving and whatnot and not showing the passion for the shirt is all a load of nonsense. And for me, he put in a professional display, couple of mistakes, yeah, for sure. But overall, a very, very decent performance. And we are going to need the best out of Mickey going forward as well. We know what a good defender he is. We know how good he is as well on the ball, and we're going to need him at his best. So yeah, 7 for Mickey.
Okay, so there we go. So we come on to the next player. The next player we are going to tackle is Jed Spence. Jed Spence, 7's all round. We're back onto being the same. Look, Jed put in a shift. He
He
put in a
did.
performance. He gave the ball away a few times, and I still think there's times where he thinks he's Ronaldinho. I call him Spencealdinho at times because he thinks he can take 3 players on or whatever.
Yeah.
But a better performance than we've seen from him. Made that one vital tackle when we were still kind of in the tie,
Yep.
where he tracked back and made
Yep.
that superb tackle because
Yep.
that could have been a rash tackle and a red card. Not that it would have made a difference overall because we won't go through into the tie and won't be in the Champions League next season. Um, but that's why I gave him a 7 instead of a 6 because of that incredible tackle he made in the second half.
Yeah, I think he was very solid as well, and I agree with everything you've said there. I do want to see him link up a little bit better with Tell. I feel like they can build a little bit of a partnership and get some nice combinations going and some nice through balls and some understanding as well. Bringing Xavi in as well to that. So good performance from Jed. Like you said, that the tackle there was immense and I want to see more from him and more consistency as well. But overall, a very, very good performance from Jed, and I was really happy to see him put in that challenge.
Completely agree, brother. So now we'll move on to the next one, which I believe will be a Spaniard. Oh no, it won't be a Spaniard. It will be someone that right here, right now, Archie Gray for me. It's hard to say man of the match as long with Xavi as well because of 2 goals and whatever. But I tell you what, Archie Gray yesterday
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
absolutely everywhere, and I have to say one of the things that I loved the most is when he got subbed. Llorente even went over when he was walking around the pitch to shake his
Hugged
hand
him. Yeah,
to say
yeah,
well done. Archie
yeah.
Gray, who since he's come has split a lot of opinions on value, position, capability, everything. I think under the Tudor management, he's probably been our most consistent player. He has starting to find his feet. He has not given. He has led by example. In fact, I think he's just turned 20 now. He has been leading by example, and he gave absolutely everything yesterday. Instrumental in the second goal. First half, I thought he was everywhere. A fantastic performance, and probably, actually, not even probably, most certainly his best performance in the Spurs shirt, Amir.
Oh, 100%. Look, Archie was absolutely unbelievable last night. And, he really deserved a goal from that beautiful move that we spoke about in the review. If Tell had squared the ball to him, he was everywhere. He was, making challenges, playing balls. He was really, really, it was a top notch performance from Archie Gray. And we know there's a player in there. We know there's quality. He just hasn't locked down one position. He's been played as a utility player for the last couple of seasons, centre back, yeah, left back, midfield, everywhere. For me, he's a midfielder. He needs to be either in an eight or the six. He needs to be somewhere in there or in a double pivot or wherever you want there in the midfield. But Archie Gray is going to be a phenomenal footballer for us.
Yeah.
I think he's a model professional as well. I think the way he carries himself for such a young gentleman is of the highest order, and I think he's going to go from strength to strength. To be honest with you, of course, he got the winner away at Palace as well. So he knows where the goal is as well, and I think if you get him into those positions more and more, you might see him notch up a few more goals. Yeah, absolutely top-notch performance. And for me, I mean, I know Xavi probably man of the match because he scored the goal and the penalty, but for me, Archie was my man of the match. I thought he was just absolutely top last night.
I am with you on
Performance.
that. For me, it is Archie. I just think, like you said, he's growing into to he's growing in confidence,
Hmm.
stature. Obviously, you mentioned the goal against Palace. You also got the assist for our goal against Crystal Palace in that 3-1 defeat for Solanke. He is
Hmm.
just growing and growing and growing, and seeing his development has been absolutely outstanding. And he deserves a lot. He's going to get a lot of plaudits today. And I think I even got a couple of Spurs fans that were dead against it when we signed him. And even one of them messaged me, do you know what? He said, in the last month or two, I think Archie, they're even saying, I think I've got this wrong with Archie Gray. He is going to be some talent.
Oh
And he
yeah.
is proving people wrong. And it's great to see. And long may this continue.
Oh, amen to that. Amen to that. Big
Exactly.
up.
Now we're moving on to the next guy. And let's see. That's what I thought it was going to be. So Amir and I again, 6 all round, Pape Matasar. I've seen mixed opinions of him on social media for this performance, saying, "Yeah, do you know what? He played so well. He was everywhere." Blah blah. Another saying, "What does he do?" I'm kind of in the middle of it for this performance. Obviously, it's been overshadowed by a great performance by Archie Gray. Um, Pape Matar did what Pape Matar does. He covered ground relentlessly. Um, did a few, was involved in a few things and some nice moves and everything, but nothing that set the world alight. So for me, Pape did what Pape does, which is always give 100% effort, but and commitment. But I can't recall anything of substance that he actually did. Can you, Amir?
Well, I can actually. I think he was very strong at winning duels and second balls as well. He was getting hold of second balls and spraying the ball about. I thought he was really a bit of an engine in that midfield. The reason he didn't get a seven for me is that second goal, falling asleep for a bit of marking there and not clearing that ball from the corner. That's the only reason I've marked him down. Otherwise, I thought he had a very solid game. I think there's a real player there in Pape. We've seen him for the last couple of years. He also gets goals. He gets assists. He knows how to get in decent positions. I think this season particularly, he's lost a lot of his confidence, where he was just dropped by Frank. He had a great preseason. If you go back to
Yeah.
preseason, he was really good. And then he just had a huge drop off from maybe a knock in his confidence and being out of the team so much. So I want to see a lot more from Pape. I think he was very solid. People that don't see what he does on the pitch, I think you need to look a little bit closer because he's very good at certain aspects of the game and he covers a lot of ground. And he is good at winning duels and laying the ball off. And I do want to see Pape in there again on Sunday against Forest. One thing I just want to mention before we get to the next player, I actually feel really sorry for him, Daigle, because as you know, Senegal have had their African Nations trophy taken away from them, which is absolutely ridiculous. For him, in my eyes, they're still champions.
But
So
yeah, but football's just gone mad with this. It is a loony. We'll see the developments of that. It's just madness, especially how long in time has gone from them.
mate,
But yeah,
crazy, crazy.
but again, yeah, Pape must have a solid performance. Now moving on to, I think it is going to be the Spaniard this time. Am I right? Please God, waiting for there we go.
There we
It
go.
is the Spaniard. Um, a guy who I did a bit on the last update. I love this man. You cannot deny his fight, commitment, passion, desire. I think he's such a vital player for Spurs. Again, it's getting the right players around him. He had a very good performance, gave everything he could. Came so close with that outstep of the foot shot.
Mm,
For Spurs fans who have been around like me, will remember Sergei Rebrov scoring a goal just like literally like that. I think it was against Ipswich, if memory serves me correctly, if I'm right. Was a stupendous goal. And that was a great opportunity. But for me, Pedro was up and down, gave everything for the team, put in some good crosses.
yeah.
But a six for me.
Yeah, so I thought he was deserving of a seven. I think he was brilliant last night. If he had scored that goal, oh man, it was a delicious effort with the outside of the foot. Keeper made a very very decent save there. He was trying to get forward as much as he can. The only thing that room for improvement, maybe some of the crosses that he put in. I know he's got the quality in there to put it on a dime. So I want to see a little bit more in terms of accuracy when it comes to his crosses. We all know he's capable of it. Um, and yeah, really, really solid performance from Pedro Porro. Always gives 110%, like you said. Yeah, solid performance from Porro.
There we go. So now we're going up to the front line. And the first front line player we are going with is Xavi Simmons. As you can see, nines all round again. Tudor hasn't selected him for any games to start since he's been here. Played him in this one, and we're thinking before the lineup came out, where's going to be creativity? Where's there going to be that X factor? Well, Xavi Simmons got his opportunity, and all of us fans say if you get the opportunity, you've got to take it with both hands. And do you know what? Xavi most certainly did it. Heavily involved in a lot of good things. Obviously, the first goal, delicious, as you said in the review, earned the penalty, a great finish. He was heavily involved. You could see his what I've loved about Xavi as well. And he's another one that's been split in opinions because he's been in and out of the side. I can't remember a creative midfielder that puts in so much effort and puts the yards in and does the dirty stuff and does the defensive duties and gets back. Um, I think he's going to be a wonderful player for Tottenham. And yesterday was just a glimpse into a perfect performance from him, and it really was, wasn't it?
It really was. He needs to be, starting for me all the games if he's fit, all the games towards the end of the season. You need to get him on the ball as much as possible. He knows how to create. He knows how to find space. Like you said, he doesn't mind a challenge and getting stuck in as well, winning the ball. And he's got that quality to just absolutely punish teams from outside the box, which is something we've been missing for years, really. Since your days of, your Ericssons and Bales, really. We've missed
Yeah.
someone who can just pinpoint a ball into the corner. It was an absolutely gorgeous finish for that first one and a lovely penalty too. So, yeah, definite nine for me for Xavi. Um, I just want to see more and more of it every week in, week out. That's all I can ask from the young man. I think it was a fantastic performance.
Agreed, agreed. So now we'll move on to the next player, and the next player we're going for is Matisse Tell. Sevens all round again. Uh, we said it in the review. We'll probably both say it here again. Look, there was one glaring mistake he made, but where he should have squared it for
Yeah.
Archie on Mawani. It could have been 2-0 and it could have been a completely different tie. He had three shots in the first 23 minutes.
Yep.
And as we said in the review, I think we've spoken about players not giving their all, not giving their commitment, and we've been saying what we need is players giving commitment, fight, passion, and all these things mentally right now, as opposed to technically. And I think Matisse has done that when he's had this opportunity under Tudor. He really has. Um, Look, does he need to work on his end product? Yes. Does he need to work on his football IQ and see the bigger picture? Yes. But he again ran his socks off, tried everything, gave everything. Um, he looks more comfortably shooting from distance as opposed to the opportunity where he did shoot. Um, I think I've given him the 7 because I could have knocked him down to a 6 because of that error or error of judgment. But I think under Tudor, and he showed it again today, yesterday, sorry, he has given everything for the cause, and that's what we've been crying out for, isn't it, Amir?
Yeah, 100%. And look, those are the fine margins of this game, right? He could have had an 8 or a 9 if he had squared that ball
Yep.
and he would have gone 2-0 up. These are the very fine margins at the elite level of football. But what Matisse is showing is that grit and determination to just play for the badge, put in 110, do everything, on the pitch that he can possibly do to try and help the team. And that's all we can ask from him. And he's gone from strength to strength this season. I know a lot of people aren't sold on him quite just yet, but I would ask for fans to be a little bit patient with Matisse. He is still a very young player. He's a raw talent. You can see the raw talent is there. It just needs to be coached and developed in the right way, and I think you'll see a lot more from Tel. Really, really strong performance. Again, the assist for that first goal. You those are the crosses, literally. When Richie's asleep, dreaming of pigeons and goals, that's what he's dreaming about. Like it's just, it's on the money, on the head of the striker, and Muani tucks it away. So really decent performance from Tel. Want to see a bit more in terms of the IQ for sure, but that will come with time and experience and more game time for the young man.
And to complete the starting lineup, got the goal scorer of the first goal, a guy that seems to save his best performances for Champions League football. Randall Kolo Mawani, as you can see, 7s all round again from me and Sim. Took his goal fantastically. Fantastically. That's a header, and it wasn't an easy header. Put it away beautifully. Did a lot again, a lot of running, a lot of work for the team. But I think that was the key vital moment. He took it, and 7 for me, Amir.
Yeah, 7 for me as well. He got the ball rolling in the game with that fantastic header. Um, One thing that I don't want to see from Kolo Muani is the silly fouls. He does give away some really kind of silly fouls. That comes down to footballing IQ as well. I think you just don't need to make those challenges. Kolo, focus on what you're good at. Stick up top and just bury the ball in that back of the net. So yeah, 7 all round for Kolo Muani. Hopefully he can chip in with a few more goals in the Prem. Like you said, the Champions League is kind of where he comes comes alight, but we got to see more from him in the Prem as well. But it was a great confidence builder to get that first goal, and it was a very, very, very good header from Kolo. So hopefully we see a lot more of that.
There we go. Now we move on to the subs, and obviously the first sub that we brought on, and thankfully, Kevin Danso wasn't the first sub we brought on. He was one of the last we brought on. So
Yeah.
we'll go back the other way around. So I will say, with some of the subs where you see me give a 5, people that have seen me on this show will know that if a sub comes on very, very late and really didn't affect anything or do anything, I will always just give them a 5 because there's nothing they could have done. So a 5 for Danso for me.
Yeah, and as I said before, I caveat this one. I give all the players a bit of a bonus point with the level of grit and determination and passion they showed. Kevin, to be fair to Big Kev, he always shows that. He's a fantastic mentality, shows a fantastic mentality, and I think he was good when he came on. So yeah, 7 for Big Kev.
There we go. Moving on to the next sub. And the next sub we have is Destiny, who was the first sub. Now, I will say I am delighted to see Destiny Doggy back. I am delighted to see him for the running. Um, Again, I gave him a 5. I was going to give him a 6 because he put in that one dangerous cross that the goalkeeper misjudged the bounce. But
Mm.
obviously, there was no one around to get it. But the most important thing is having him back. And in fact, the most important thing is managing his minutes to keep him fit. And now, only playing one game a week might do that because I've said it all season. We've looked at our most comfortable defensively and going forward when Destiny has been about as a natural left footer. So I was delighted to see him back a bit.
Oh, 100%. It's so good to have Destiny back. And yeah, the main thing is just keeping him fit till the end of the season because he's just been so in and out of the team literally since he's arrived at the club. It's one problem after the other, and they're really unlucky with injuries, Destiny. So hopefully, touch wood, he can stay fit for the end of the season. We're really going to need him when he's on his game and he's in full fitness. He's a beast of a player. So let's hope he can stay fit. Gave him a 6, very solid performance coming in. Still a little bit rusty. Obviously, he's not fully at the races yet. That'll probably take another couple of weeks. But yeah, we need
Yeah.
Destiny at
The
the
only thing I will say with Destiny as well, and this isn't even about him. What annoyed me when he came on is so many times, once he had come on, he is tearing down that left wing
yeah.
to try and get movement and creating space. And every time he got away, we just kind of overlooked him and brought it back inside. You could see him charging, and he was open a few times, but we didn't find him. But that's not on Destiny. That's
No,
on the team.
no.
So
He's making the right moves.
there you go. There you go. That's what I should. That sums it up perfectly. Moving on to the next sub, and the next sub we are going to talk about is another player that we were delighted to see come off the bench or be on the bench, let alone come off the bench. And again, for me, came on. All it was about is getting minutes in his legs. Um, and great to see him on the pitch, but didn't do anything of note. So 5 for me.
Yeah, I gave him a 6. Solid coming in, making some positive runs with the ball. We need Lucas back to his best and fully fit. On his day, I think this kid, he's got such an abundance of talent. I think he's actually a really good finisher as well. I've seen him score some lovely goals away at West Ham, beautiful header last year in the cup as well. He's going to be a top quality player for us, and we just need him fit, firing, and ready to go. So really nice to see Bergvall back on the pitch.
There we go, and we'll move on to the next substitution. Two left to do. And the next one we are going to be discussing is Conor Gallagher. Again, just great to see him available. I mean, the defence seems like we're getting everyone back. Midfield is certainly stocking up right now, and Tudor will have options. But again, for me, came on, didn't really. I'll tell you what, he went down with a little dive trying to get a penalty, which I weren't happy about. Um, and again, didn't have an impact. Came off the bench, 5 for me.
Yeah, solid, little performance from Connor. Didn't get too many minutes, but yeah, 6 for me. Solid enough. It's nice to have him back. I do want to see a little bit more from Connor. He's come into the team and we need to get the best out of him. We need to see a Conor Gallagher that's fit, firing, and ready to go. He had a little niggle. Now he's back. Hopefully, he can provide some nice assists like he did for Dom against City going forward, and maybe nick a few goals. That'd be nice. So hopefully, we see plenty of positive performances from Conor going forward.
Yeah, and then we got the final substitute, Callum Aloisi. Again, great to see him make his Premier League debut away at Liverpool. Great to see him now get some Champions League minutes. Again, for the same reason I've given for all the subs. Didn't really have much of an impact. Came on late in the game, so 5 for me.
Yeah, for me, I gave him a 7. I thought he was actually really positive. Every time he got the ball, he was laying it off. He was making challenges as well. I thought Olasesi did really well against Liverpool as well. Very positive player. Youngster, doesn't play with any fear. And I think he's going to be a big player for us going forward. And I do want to see him get minutes going towards the end of the season, especially if we manage to stay up and stay up comfortably, which, is a pipe dream really, but, you never know. Hopefully gets even some starts. I'd like to see him in there potentially, towards the end of the season. So really decent little cameo from Olasesi. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of the youngster.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Please God, when we are safe from
Yeah,
the drop and it is confirmed mathematically, maybe Tudor in his final few games will chuck a
that's
few of
it.
the youth in. But
That's it.
talking to Tudor, let's go to the manager who has obviously been under a lot of criticism recently until we had that Liverpool result. I believe, I'm waiting for Sam to bring it up. I believe we gave him eights all round. Did you give
Yeah.
him an eight? I
I
mean,
gave
yes,
him an 8.
I
Yeah.
gave him an eight solely because of his positional. Sorry, the way he's got the players playing that game. Look, we can all say, look, there was nothing to lose. It was a free hit. It was all that. Obviously, right now it's all about momentum and carrying it forward. And he got the first team selection right. I think we played in the first half. It showed. Um, Substitutions made them right, as in giving players the right amount of minutes to get energy in their legs. And yeah, I can't criticise anything that he did yesterday. So an eight for me.
Yeah, 100% 8. He got the win. He injected some passion, pride in all those players. They came out and like I said, one of the best performances for months for me. And he got the lineup correct as well. If you want to dig into it, Xavi getting the start and being one of the star players, Archie and Sarr in there winning the midfield battle. So an 8 for me from Tudor. And I want to see 8s or 9s for the rest of the season. Nothing less than that will make me happy. So hopefully going forward, we can get plenty more of these kind of performances, build up some momentum, stay in the league, which is the most important thing, and we'll all kind of adore Tudor for forever and ever if he manages to do that.
Correct. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is mine and Amir's player ratings. Let us know in the comments what you think of our ratings. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Put your own comments in there. Amir, always a pleasure to share the screen with your brother.
You too, Archie, and yeah, let's move into Sunday with a bit of positivity, guys. Come on, you Spurs.
Exactly. So everyone like, share, comment, subscribe, and just like Amir said, come on, you Spurs.
Come on.